Okay, let's jump into mini section 3. I already have Pro open, and so I am gonna head. Doesn't always work when I'm screen recording, but I do know what I'm doing. Okay, so let's turn off terrain. I don't want to remove it yet because we have all those statistics locked in here. And let's go over to catalog again. And you should still see all of these data sets for terrain. And what we're looking for now is this multi-directional hillshade. So let's put that on top of terrain. Okay. And this is going to follow more or less the same workflow that we just did with our terrain base. Okay, so give it a little time to kick in there. All right, and let's come up here to image service layer. Okay, and I'm wondering what's going on, if it has something to do with this ribbon being minimized. But let's right click on this guy, go to symbology. Okay, and let's click up here. Okay, we're going to leave this alone and we will export it the way it is. Okay, and then we can work with it in Photoshop. Okay, so same thing. Let's come up here to share, export layout. Okay, now everything should be in place, okay? However, we want to name this correctly. So, and this is important. Naming these files is very important because when we bring them in to our render engine, we just need to know what they're called. Okay, so this is going to be called a normal map, all right? A height map, and you'll see this when we start rendering, a height map gives you kind of the mass forms, okay? So if you were gonna model a human body, it would give you all of just the overall structure, okay? The face and the muscles and, you know, all of that, the toes and the fingers. But a normal map gives you things that you just couldn't model, you know, like scars and little beard stubble and all that kind of stuff, okay? So click OK there. Make sure, and you can pause if you need to, make sure that your settings are the same as mine, okay? And again, I know we're tempted to zoom in and out, but get through this with me and then you can do all the zooming you want in Photoshop. Okay, so let's export this guy. Okay, great. So mine is exported. So I'm going to turn that layer off and I'm going to turn on the national map. Okay, and all we have to do now is simply name this correctly. All right, so caps lock USGS map, hit OK or enter, and then export this guy. Okay, great. So that one exported just fine. So I'm gonna hit Control Save. And I'll just come up here to do it. It doesn't like my shortcuts. Now, if you're having a really hard time exporting and you are using OneDrive, you can open it up, and if you see that there's an error syncing something, come up here to this gear and you can pause syncing for 2 hours, okay? OneDrive cannot sync shape files, okay? So I would purge your entire OneDrive of any shape file you have. And you don't have to just throw them out, but export them into a geodatabase, and then there'll be feature classes and they will be syncable. Okay, I don't know if that's a word. All right, now let's turn off this fella, and we're gonna turn this guy on. All right, and this is called USA. Yeah, I'm not really crazy. Let's just export it anyway. No, you know what? Always, less is more. And you bring that stuff into Photoshop and then you try all kinds of stuff. And if it doesn't look good here, it's not going to look good there. Okay, now this boundary is going to be very important. Okay, we're going to create layer masks in Photoshop, both in and outside of this boundary. So click on this layer, come to labeling. All right, and let's turn that off. Okay, and click on this guy, and we're just gonna call this up. Okay, it's already called Upper Colorado. So we're just gonna call this WS for Watershed Border. Okay, now click OK, and all of this is good. So these should export pretty quickly. And don't worry about the white background. We can just use the multiply filter in Photoshop. Okay, that one hopped out pretty quick. So uncheck that and let's click on USA states. Okay, and we will put, actually, let's click on this and let's click on our watershed. Okay, we do need to name the states, but only outside of the watershed. I don't want the state names getting in there. So what we're going to do is turn on USA state, hit label. Okay, and this will just be a reference for you to use in Photoshop. Okay, we'll just put a layer mask on there and delete them, and then create nice labels in Photoshop and place them wherever we want, so we don't have to monkey around with this stuff. Okay, so turn off the Colorado region and scroll up to the top here, and we are going to call these guys, let me see that again. I want to punch these boundaries up. This is going to be very cool and helpful to people if we do it right. Okay, so we started there, and let me turn on my state boundary, and then you guys can just copy that. So let's go to properties, and we're going to bump that up to 3. Okay, and what I did was here in the layers, obviously you don't want any fill, but under dash effect, twirl that open, and I did a 39.9 whatever, however many those are, pattern, and I started with that one, and I based that off USGS symbology. Apparently this is how they like to symbolize states. Now, I don't understand what, let me see something here. For some reason, I get this gray output, and give me a second. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it because we can put a just a color overlay on that in Photoshop. So let's go to our export, or you can click share up here, and once again all of our settings should be locked into place, and we are going to call this Upper Colorado. or whatever the name of your watershed is. State borders. Click OK, and then export that. Okay, great. So all of these have been exported. Now, here's the one I've been wrangling with. And I'm hoping that this is going to work. I've tried a whole lot of different techniques to bring out the water in our maps. Okay, so what we're going to do is minimize this, or at least I have to because of this. And let's go to the internet. Okay, if you need the link, I've made this live on Blackboard. Okay, and you can right click and go to this USGS. It's called the National Map Download. And if you just type in, let me see here, TNM, if you don't want to go to Blackboard, yeah, make sure you get download V2. It'll pop up for you. Okay, but you need this, make sure you have this interface. So what we're going to do, they have all this hydrology stuff that I've gone through, but what I want to try is the small scale data set. So small scale is kind of it's just a funny way of describing the data. What they're literally saying is that the scale of your features, like the scale of Colorado here and Wyoming, it's small. Like, just think, I don't know, like if you zoomed in, it's big and you get a lot of detail. If you zoom out, it's small and you don't get as much detail. And sometimes that's really great, okay, because they have boundaries of the entire U.S., contours of the whole U.S., and this is what we're going to go for, is the hydrography. So let's turn that other stuff off. We want that to be a file geodatabase, and I really want it to be for North America because a lot of you guys are working in these areas, okay, and they delineated those watersheds correctly so that they do go up into Canada and down into Mexico, and I don't want our data cutting off at the border, okay? When it comes to hydrology, there's no wall. All right, moving on. Scroll up to the top and click search products. Okay, we got nothing. So clear, go to data sets. Come on, let's just click all here. If it is a shape file, I can show us how to bring that in. Search products, clear results. Okay, let me zoom out so we have all of North America. Let's go to data sets. Let's reset our map, and we do want that North America. Search products. Come on, baby. What the heck? Data sets. Okay, something. Hold on. Okay. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get North America, but zoom out, okay, and select hydrography, national, and then all, and then scroll up to the top, choose search products, and this is going to come up. Now just click download, and it is a file geodatabase, so that's good. It's not a shape file. All right, and it's coming down pretty quick, which is nice because the other hydrography data sets are, it's like gigabytes of data, okay? So let's go to our downloads folder. Okay, click on this fella, choose extract all, just hit enter. Okay, and always get rid of your garbage immediately, and then double click on this. And actually we do need a folder, but let's call this National Hydrology Small Scale. It's always helpful to give your files and folders a descriptive name so you're not opening them up all the time to find out what the heck is in there. Okay, so let's open this guy up, Control V, paste that in there. Alt tab it over. And now let's go to our catalog. Let's go to our project. Open up your folders. Okay, and right click on this folder and choose refresh, and there it is. So open that up. These are just text files. And okay, nice. So we've got a coastline for those of you working on the coast. Don't worry about that hydronet. And we have a stream and water body. Okay, so let's add these two to the top, the stream and the water body. Oh, that's nice. Okay. All right, so we are going to stop here because I want to figure out a way of symbolizing these data according to the size of the river and maybe even getting some tapered effect. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control S and work on that, and then I will see you in the next video.